Let's talk, Tom, about a great article that you wrote in Sports Illustrated. And this is actually something you've been tracking for the last few years, and this is the effect that pitchers who throw a lot of innings have once they have that big year, then how they are the next year.
Yeah, really young pitchers, because the older guys, they've done it before. It's like running a marathon. You don't want to go from a 10K to a marathon, but if you've run a bunch of marathons, no problem, right? Well, looking at guys 25 and under, I always look at the jump in innings pitched. And now a lot of clubs, really all 30 clubs, have some version of this. For instance, the Rays like to keep it around a 20% increase. The Jays a 30%. So looking back, just pure innings, take percentage out of it. These guys, you look, have the biggest innings. Ventura stands out for me, guys. Bumgarner, I'm not worried about because that's only a 20% jump for him. Every year he's thrown over 200. But Ventura as a 6-foot right-hander who throws 98. And he pitched, this is the key for me, the 7th month. Think about that. It's not just the innings now. You're ramped up for a 7th month, every pitch, stress pitch, postseason.
And they brought him out of the bullpen. To me, it's reminiscent of when I first started looking at this. Kevin Millwood in '99 was gassed at the end of the year. They went all the way to the World Series, lost to the Yankees, of course. Cole Hamels in '08. They won because of him postseason. '09, fastball completely disappeared. And last year was Michael Wacha. Remember that great run for the Cardinals? Yeah. So pitching that 7th month, racking up all those innings, you can do it, but it's like running that marathon. You're going to feel the effects of it.
Well, and was that the situation that the Nationals are worried about with Steven Strasburg back in the day?
Totally. I mean, that was a little different because it was Tommy John surgery, but putting a limit on a pitcher now, status quo in the game. You say, wait a second, he's healthy. Why are they shutting him down? Well, they want to make sure that he stays healthy. Interesting to me, looking at the percentage of innings thrown by pitchers 25 and under, we all love to look at the young pitchers. We think they're ruling baseball. They're actually throwing a less percentage of innings now than they did 10 years ago. It's gone from 30 to 25%. That's because teams are shutting down young pitchers and saying, that's enough.
So what's the best remedy where you know you're going to have that young gun in September and into the postseason?
Best remedy for me is manage those innings. Take them out of the rotation for a couple of weeks.
Either like Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro used to take a mini vacation every year, right? I thought that was the great idea, especially for young guys. You can send them down to the minor leagues, beg and borrow some innings, put them in the bullpen, keep them sharp a little bit. Don't shut them down totally. But say you have a guy penciled for 180 innings. Don't just throw him out there and have him pitch start for start. Then in September, Strasburg style, he's gone. Manage the innings over 6 months.
So you said that Ventura's the guy you're worried most about, and now he's going to be the guy of that staff. I mean, he's going to move up to be the ace. So how do you see the Royals managing his situation this year?
It's interesting. I think he'll be fine, but I'm kind of like cross fingers because they went into last year limiting him, they thought, to 180 to 200. And he went about 8 or 10 innings beyond that. But again, difference in postseason than just regular season. Brandon Finnegan is a guy I think is really going to help this team. I guarantee you they will be very careful about how many innings they give him. And he'll probably be a hybrid bullpen guy and starting pitcher guy.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about pitching dominating this game. Last week we were talking about the strike zone changing. And I'm curious your thought, because they were talking about raising it up from below the knee, above the knee, to maybe shrink that down a little bit. What are your thoughts when you hear about maybe tinkering with the zone?
Well, it's kind of a quick fix. They did that in 68, 69 when they raised the mound. Part of that was they changed the strike zone as well, which people forgot. I think what's happened is they haven't redefined the zone. It's gotten lower because you think of the majority of pitchers now with the cutter two-seam combination, they're living low in the zone, and they're around the zone. And the umpires are seeing those pitches time and time again. And I think the way that Maddox and Glavine and those guys stretched it out horizontally, now guys have stretched it down. So I wouldn't mind having it reinforced, if you will. But here's the key, guys. The trend now is that the called strikes are going down. What's gone up is the swinging strike, especially out of the zone. That tells me it's not about the umpires. It's about the pitchers. They're making, as Maddox would say, the balls look like strikes. And guys are getting swinging strikes more, not called strikes.